welcome to the Provo City Library Podcast. I'm Erika Hill. I'm the Community Relations Manager.
I'm Carla Gordon. I'm the Library Director.
And today we are here with Jean Nelson, who hired both of us.
Yay!
Oh, I didn't think about that. I did, didn't I?
At least once,
if
not multiple times.
I'm to be blamed for this?
You're
responsible.
Indirectly, this podcast is here because of you. Jean was our library director here at the Provo City Library for 25, longer than that?
25 years.
25 years.
It's almost exactly 25 years.
And so we're here today talking, I don't know if we've mentioned it yet on this podcast, or
Maybe.
if we've mentioned it obnoxiously a lot.
Probably.
But this year we are celebrating our 25th year in this building. The library has been in other locations in Provo, but we're 25 years from opening in this location at Academy Square. And so who better to talk
And he's
to
still alive.
about... He's still here.
alive.
We figured we needed to do this
figure.
podcast now.
Let me pull up my socks.
You only died once on this job.
Only once on this job. That's right. Okay.
That's not a joke, but it's probably a story for a different podcast.
That's probably, it's one of those inside things, isn't it?
So yeah, Jean, we're really excited to have you here.
Great to be here.
And we'll just launch right in. So this building was not always the library.
That would be correct.
And so let's talk a little bit about what it took to get us to this point.
Well, a lot of this is my perspective, obviously. And there's some things that I wasn't here for.
Sure.
Since I didn't grow up here in Provo. But this building, particularly the Academy building, was really the second building of BYU. Originally, the Brigham Young Academy was housed downtown, right on Center Street. Caught fire. Gone.
Wasn't that just around finals time?
Yeah,
also?
exactly.
Yes.
I'm sure it was. Carla was there. She'll remember that.
Coincidence?
And
There's better things to do with your final stress than light your school on fire.
When these all wooden buildings, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And, the pioneers spent a lot of money on that. And it wasn't just an easy thing to say, oh, gee, let's build another one. We've got the money. They didn't have the money. It was very difficult. And so it took a number of years, like a couple of decades, for them to get the money raised, to get the support. People were putting property up for second mortgages and things like that. It was that important to have a higher education here in Provo as people are starting to draw closer. And so then they built was then known as the Education Building. And we had also on the property 1, 2, 3 other buildings on the property that those that are old veterans, they'll remember them. For this block, this 1 or 2 buildings now with the addition, it fills it up quite nicely when you have parking and stuff. But they didn't need the parking like that before. You just tie your horse up to the hitch and you go inside for school. Or you walk. And really, at the time, this property was kind of in the north end of Provo.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right.
And beyond was just rural area and some farms. You had some trees and some groves going on. But this was just about the front end of it. And so they functioned for quite some time. And then things changed, like everything changes. And they had property up, the BYU had property up on the hill, as they call it, Cemetery Hill. And they decided they're going to start finding a lot of the property up there to be where the school needs to be. I guess this was probably starting to fill in pretty quickly. You see a lot of the old houses and stuff around their neighborhood. A couple have just been taken down across the street. Matter of fact, she was, I wish I could remember her name. I went and visited her one day, a widow. And her husband was one of the original sheriffs in town.
Oh, interesting.
And he had all kinds of memorabilia and stuff, and it was really quite fascinating. And so I think they saw, okay, it's not going to happen down here. And so I'm not sure who owned all that property up there, but nonetheless, it happened. And so then once BYU vacated the building, we had the Brigham Young Academy, which functioned as a K through 12 school.
Oh, I didn't realize realize it was K through 12.
Yeah, isn't that
Was
amazing?
it like a charter school?
It was
Like
kind
a
of
private school?
Yeah, kind
but
of a
not part of the
private
school district. It was
because you did have other schools happening. Provo High was also happening a little bit later, and then you have BY High, and you have the great display case down the hallway. Wonderful idea, thank you.
yeah, it's brilliant.
And so the Academy was here for quite some time. Matter of fact, this lovely little book here, The Miracle of Academy Square, written by Doug Smoot, gives us a lot of background. We have a couple of copies for checkout here at the library, I know.
If anyone
And,
wants to buy some, we also have some.
And you also have some for purchase. And I spent a lot of money on this one
Yeah.
23 years ago. More than you have to spend now.
For sure.
But it's autographed.
Oh, okay, ours
I've
aren't
got a Doug
autographed.
Smith.
And you can never get it autographed again.
Yeah, exactly. And so the building was sold, and the Academy kind of closed its doors. It really closed its doors about 76, 78, 77.
Oh, was it that late? I thought it was like
Something
69.
like that. And then it fell into a lot of people's hands. And about a dozen, give or take, different owners owned this property, including this building and the 3 others on the site. Of course, we didn't have any underground parking at the time.
Right.
And so these owners all tried to do something with the property. It's prime property. It's just perfect property for a lot of things. But it's going to take a lot of money, because either you're going to demolish these other buildings or you're going to take them all down or whatever else. So as time went on, you could spend an hour just talking about this stuff, but I won't. Time went on. It was finally pretty much abandoned, and it was looking pretty sore. Windows were being knocked out. We had, it was easily accessible if you knew which part of the fence was broken at the time. And that would just kind of depend on who fixed it and then where they break in again. And a lot of interesting things occurred in the building. When I first arrived in spring of '97, I knew the building needed to have some work done on it. But until my eyes beheld it for myself, I couldn't believe it. Up in the ballroom, for example, on the north end of the ballroom, there was this large hole, probably a diameter of 15 by 15, maybe 15 by 20.
Oh, wow.
Went all the way down to the children's department, clear in the bottom.
Why didn't we make that a slide?
It's just lovely. Oh, yeah, we could have
Missed opportunity.
thought about that. But, and we did have some denizens living here. We had lots of bats, lots of birds, probably other little critters leaving all kinds of fun stuff behind. And it was really, really rough. And I first saw it that first day. I go, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to rebuild this? And at the time, I thought, when I had the offer for the job.
Because you came from Las Vegas.
I came from Las Vegas, built 2 libraries there. I think at the time what they were looking for, they're probably not looking for it now, but at the time they really wanted somebody that had building experience, obviously, and they wanted somebody that had children's experience.
Yeah.
Well, okay, there's not many of us out there.
Right.
But having built 2 libraries, one was a 40,000 square foot building, and one was about a little bit bigger, about 120,000 square foot, a little bit bigger than this building. And so when I came up, of course, I was moving my family of 8 of us. 4 of them were still at home. My oldest daughter hated my guts for moving. She was going to be a sophomore at Clark High School in Las Vegas, and everything. She was in student council. She was cheering, everything, and I just uprooted her. We still talk.
Yeah. I was
It
going
worked
to say,
out.
she's probably...
She found a husband in her class, so there's good things.
Okay.
And so when I showed up here, I believed that this project was going to happen. It was a done deal, sealed. We're ready to start construction design. Well, design and construction. And then I arrived and I go, that is not the case.
Interesting.
Let me tell you, I had more than a night or two, and I was up here with a couple of kids, getting them kind of into school. Wife was at home trying to sell a house with the other kids. I didn't tell her any of this. Like, sweetheart, I don't think I may not have a building to build.
Right.
Great, what are you going to do, sweetheart? I don't know, because it's a horrible building that they live in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's horrible. I did not sleep.
Yeah.
And then I finally had enough gumption to say, okay, somebody, I won't tell you who it was, I said, I thought this was a done deal. Oh no. So in spring of 97, the timing was just the way it needed to be. So first of all, what happened is that the city bought the property. And the city bought the property with the intention, as I understand it, to level everything, take this wonderful piece of property, develop it, sell it. I'm only guessing that it was largely apartments, condos, townhomes, that type of a look.
Would have been a good place for it.
And that was the plan. But then, as I understand it, there were more than a few people, Monroe and Shirley Paxman, who just lived down the way. Obviously, the Smoots were involved, the Brimhalls were involved, a number of Lee Bartlett and Sue Bartlett were involved.
Say, actually, probably people that we have rooms named after.
Yeah, a
in the
lot of them, that's the case. And they said, wait a second, you just can't. And so the city was ready to move. And so injunctions were filed with the,
the Historical Society.
It's a Historical Society. Sometime, boy, the name, the exact name is
Historic. State Office of Historic Preservation.
Whatever it was.
That? Yeah.
So they fired an injunction because of the historicity of the building, particularly this building.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it came screeching to a halt because of legal things. And so then, as people started getting together, including city government, the Mayor Stewart, council people, planning commission, and others, okay, and then this idea surfaced again. We need another library. The library in Center Street was, to my understanding, and just looking at the history of it, it was inadequate when it was built. Coming from a design perspective, and I have built 3 of these suckers, it was a lousy design in so many ways. And it was just kind of a miserable triangle building. And so that was floated again. It had been floated about 10 years or 15 years previously. We need to find another building. And they'd even talked about this. But then the dollars were, okay, we didn't have the money to do it. I don't know what the city paid for the property. I'm sure we could look that up, probably somewhere in there.
Probably.
Originally. And so the people started getting together and they said, okay, what about the library? And so my predecessor, as well as Julie Farnsworth, as well as others, and then Doug Smoot got involved. They knew that the bond issue that they wanted to have the city float was going to be for about $18 million, give or take. I think 17.8 or something like that. And that had to go to a vote of the people. And it was going to be a rancorous vote. It was very divisive in the city at the time. And I could hardly believe it, how divisive this was. But when it comes down to money, people are divisive about money. And so they agreed that they would have this bond issue that would take care of largely the building itself, this $18 million. And then we would need to raise the Brigham Young Academy Foundation, which was set up specifically for this project, would need to raise about $6 million, give or take. Well, number one, I don't think the city was, this is personal opinion, I don't think the city was too worried about the bond issue passing, because I don't think they thought there's a snowball's chance in Provo that was going to happen. And so that was where my disconnect came in, as I was leaving Las Vegas as assistant director of this large library system and finding out it may not happen. So we all watched very closely at that voting, and it was just about as close as you could
So
get.
it wasn't like 52%.
It was like 50 point something to 49 point something.
Wow.
It was just that close, but it just needed to have a simple majority. And a lot of talk, a lot of discussion, a lot of angry people, a lot of people that lived in Provo felt like, well, if that's the case, then you need to have the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints put up the money to save the building, or you need to have BYU save the building. We don't want our tax dollars to be used.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there was the other half of the city that voted said, no, we need a new library and we want to save that building because of the historical nature of it.
Yeah.
Long story short, you can tell it can go on and on.
It's a very long book.
It is a big book. And there's like 3 other volumes to this too. And it was so it passed. And then the city wasn't too horribly worried about that from my perspective because we still need to raise $6 million. And that's about the time when Doug Smoot came into it because Doug had a lot of connections. And Doug was a pit bull. I will say it again, and I've said it before in public. Without Doug Smoot, we would not be in this building.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Without Doug's connections and his persistence and his dedication to this, he put in, I know it's in here somewhere, how many hours of volunteer work Doug put in, as well as many others.
Hundreds.
And Doug started getting on it. And so they needed $6 million. Well, one of the things I've learned about Provo generally is we're pretty tight with our money. We're pretty tight with our money. And we want to take care of our families. We want to take care of our community. And so I was very nervous. I did not know what I was going to do if we didn't raise that $6 million and we don't have a building to build. And I and the rest of us are going to be stuck in that building over there. Carla probably never would have come on.
I will say that when I first walked into that other building, it smelled unpleasant. And I said,
Absolutely.
I can't work here. But then I did.
Yes,
And it
you
was
did.
fine. It didn't always smell that way. I think it was just like, I was having a particularly bad day. But yeah, the building was
Sure,
really
that wasn't
hard.
Suzanne or Lynn, one of the two. I don't
No,
know.
it was a children's department, 100%.
The problem. And so when everything was said and done, about 2 to 3 weeks after I arrived, I don't remember the actual date, but it had to have been like the end of May, 1st of June-ish. That last dollar came in. And lo and behold, we're going to build this building.
Do it.
It's going to be right around $24 million, give or take. We had key figures, key people. We had the LDS Church that provided $1 million. We had the state legislature, if I remember right, provided $900,000, so another $1 million. Then we had one of the Eccles Foundation provided $1 million. Then we have the Rogers Foundation from California, they provided $1 million. So 4 of the 6 million is done. And that's great. Otherwise, we couldn't have raised the other 2 million. So the other 2 million came from a variety of people. That people that rooms were named after, they gave maybe $25,000 as a donation. Or those families that were just saving their pennies, putting them in penny banks and breaking them open and taking it to the bank. So we had the money and we're ready to rock and roll. And we had our architect of record and we had the contractor ready to go. And I'm ready to go. Delighted that I'm here, that I have a building to build and not wondering, what am I going to do now? Because I knew what I was going to do over the next couple of years is have the longest weeks of my life, having done this before. So that's kind of the preface to everything.
So in that process, let's talk a little bit about that design process. Is there anything that could be saved from the original. But this is something that people ask all,
Yeah,
the
all the
time
time.
when they come into the library. Is like they walk in and they see this beautiful building and they go, well, what was here? What did, what? Yeah. So
Well,
what was here before?
It's a great question because there was a lot of great stuff here. But as I said previously, most of the great stuff was pretty beat up. And it was rotted.
Yeah.
We had to throw out, even the perimeter of trees, we had to tear those out because most of those trees were rotting out and they had disease. We kind of had the same issue with the building. So at one point as we were, the first thing to do was to take down, the agreement was that we would save the education building, the academy
This one that
building.
we're in.
That's the only building we were going to save. The other three were going to be taken down. We need it for grounds, we need it for parking, and we needed it for the East Addition that the old building was far from adequate.
Yeah.
Similar, but not adequate. And so then we started taking a look at all those. And at one point, when we were almost tearing this building down, all that was left were the vertical walls. The roof was taken off. The bell tower was taken off, and it was sitting on the south parking lot for probably a year while they worked on that, covered with visqueen and all kinds of stuff to keep it somewhat safe. And so at one point, the inside of the academy building was nothing but the vertical walls, concrete foundation, and a bunch of steel braces holding it up, praying that a really stiff wind doesn't come. And it was, that's how, not bad, that's a bad word to use, how extensive it was going to be. We gutted this place. So by gutting it, there really was not much left from the original. However, I thought about that question and I thought, okay, what would people be interested in? So when you walk up the front stairs, you have the stairs on this, the president's porch. This used to be the president's office.
Where we are right now.
And he used to have a door just right there that he'd go out and speakify.
Sure.
And
Revive that.
So these steps and some of the concrete around them are original.
Okay.
That they were able to modify. Outside, the fountain that is no longer a fountain, but it used to be kind of a working fountain until people messed around with it and threw soap and stuff like that, which was constant.
Can't have nice
And so we had an early decision to make. It was my decision to make, and it took me about that long to make the decision. No, we don't want a fountain. We have enough problems with some small vandalism type of issues.
Sure.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
However, with that said, the fountain is an exact duplicate of what was there, with the exception in the center. I don't think there's anything here.
It's actually back here.
Oh, there.
I don't know if that's on the camera,
frankly,
but-
in the
That's in
center
frame.
is the beehive right there, and that is original. That's solid granite.
Oh, wow.
So we were able to save that piece, but everything else, all these designs and stuff, that all was original. Very much an Aztec type of a look, along with this quasi-Victorian eclectic, I don't know what you call this thing. But it's kind of a pioneer. And so from the outside, I'm glad we have this picture. All the windows, all the doors, none of those things are original. Everything was replaced, including all the window work, the sills and the woodwork there. And of course, what's left is the large majority of the brick, the reddish brick. We were able to salvage that, clean it, reseal it. They found a brickyard in Springville. I'm pretty sure it was, oh boy. Can't remember the name of the company. They're out of Springville.
It wasn't
Child's Masonry.
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 Yeah.
It can be. Rick would be so upset with me. And so then we had scaffolding. Once everything was kind of, those walls were buttressed, and then we put the roof on. Well, I'm speaking of the roof. those around long enough, that red roof was never a red roof that they could see. It had been tarnished by the sun into a metallic type of look. But as we went upstairs and were doing some digging, we found some of the original of the tile. And it was all red. We were able to find the same manufacturer that made that tile in the 1800s, latter 1800s, still in business in Texas, making
the same thing.
Same thing. So we were able, this is as close to original as you can get. It's just a replacement. So once that was replaced, they were able to scaffold the entire building and work on all the brickwork. One of the other interesting things here that is of note is right about here at the building line. One of the things we had to do was dig down on both sides of the foundation to see what the foundation original is looking like. Because we're putting $24 million worth of stuff into this. And all kinds of seismic upgrades and everything else. But as we dug down probably about 3.5 feet down, there was this huge boulder. And it was, I kid you not, easily that size, probably like this. And we weren't sure how deep the boulder went. And here we are with these 8 or 10 of us standing around with our hard hats going, oh, what the crap are we going to do with this? Well, I don't know. What do you think we ought to do? Well, I don't know. What do you think we ought to do? We had no idea it was there, but that's why we did it. So when everything was said and done, we said, it seemed to have done its job over the years. Let's leave it alone. So we left it alone.
There's actually just
so
a
that big boulder is still right there.
That's so funny.
Carla can dig in her free time.
With a golden shovel.
So the brickwork is all original. For the most part, with the exception of on the opposite side by the loading dock, we did a lot of remake. I guess a lot of water had been pouring through there. These things, the ceiling and stuff, those are not original, but that's what was up there, something very similar to it. This weather vane, people often ask, well, gee, why do you put a cross up there? It's not a cross, it's a weather vane. And however, then when you go inside, once you go up the stairs here, the ceremonial stairs, you see that pole, the cast iron pole. That's original.
Okay.
Is the ones in the ballroom
and
original
the 4
too?
in the ballroom are also original.
So did they come out of the building and then go back in?
Exactly, because we had to completely redo the floors and everything else. But we knew exactly where they were going to go back. A lot of people wondered why we don't, at the first pole right here as you enter, they used to have a kind of a love seat that was circled around this. That a lot of students said, hey, I'll meet you at the pole.
Oh, interesting.
And we took that down. Oh, gee, that was so great. We remember, get all these old school kids that used to go there. And many of them are still alive. We see them all the time.
I was going to say, we still, every once in a while, someone's here for a wedding.
It's going to be another 20 years before they're all gone.
Someone's here for something. They're like, oh, yeah, I went to school there.
But I tell them the truth. I said, well, the truth is, if we put the seat, we're going to have some congestion problems. We expect a lot of big events up in the ballroom and down here, and people congregate, and it's just going to give you a 3-foot passageway.
Yeah, and even before when we opened, there were 2 big display cases in that hallway right there, and we got rid of those because, and it's been better since we got rid of them because they just
never.
It was a good idea. It was a good idea, but it's nice to have that very open.
No question.
For lots of different things.
And so you have the 4 ballroom poles. You have this one right here. One of the fun things I know you want to talk about it, is right up here in the 3rd floor in the northwest corner.
This is a great story.
That's where the bullock room is. And we use it for a variety of meetings and events. And one of my first jobs was trying to figure out what colors were in that stained glass.
You couldn't tell from black and white
photos, which were wonderful.
Nobody wrote a very detailed journal entry. I was looking through the mint green, turquoise blue.
So it was gone. That was just an empty hole. One of my jobs was trying to figure out, okay, what colors we're going to add up there. And do we have anything that tells us? I couldn't find anybody. any shops, anybody that remembers it. I remember there's some green. Okay, that's just not going to help me. So one day, as the building was making its progress, Merrill Bingham, who was a member of our construction, we had our construction oversight committee that we met pretty much weekly, as well as all the other things we had to do. And they were the eyes and ears overseeing everything. And Merrill was in a steel fabrication shop here in town, and they were talking about the project. Everybody was talking about it, either bemoaning the fact that we spent the money, or wow, why is it taking so long? And Merrill mentioned the stained glass. And this guy that was behind him said, "Are you talking about the Academy building?" And Merrill said, "Yeah, we're looking for the stained glass. We're working the building." He said, "You're finally doing something with that building?" He said, "Yeah, go drive by." And I said, I know where the stained glass is. And so he and his cousin, the story is told to me, that live across to the north in some old apartments there, they saw this building and all the rest of the buildings just being damaged. Yeah. Rocks and everything else. People breaking in, having lots of fun. And they said, first time we see one rock go through that piece, we're going to go take it. So as I understand it, they told Merrill this, on a New Year's Eve night, they came over, made a makeshift scaffolding, broke into the property, which was not difficult, went up to the third floor, and they carefully chiseled out the stained glass just in that one spot, both sides of it obviously, created it, took it back to California after they graduated. It was just sitting in California in one of their garages.
Historic preservation by way of theft.
Can you believe that? By way of theft. And so he said to Merrill, all we would want is just, we want to make sure it goes back to the right spot.
Yeah.
I said, well, of course, we said, why wouldn't we? And so that is, with the exception of like one or two small pieces that we had to re-lead and redo it. They took the whole thing apart, put new leading in it.
Yeah.
That is the original stained glass.
Yeah.
What I haven't been able to find is any documentation tell me why that room, of all the rooms, is the only stained glass in the building before we did the reconstruction.
Was there not any on the other side? No, just
not
that
to my
one.
knowledge. That was the only one.
Yeah, this building is annoyingly
asymmetrical.
I struggle with it.
We have a new T-shirt design that I really like. That Joella's brother's a graphic designer. You know.
Oh yeah.
And he did a really cool design for us, and it's on a T-shirt.
It's great.
Of the stained glass?
No, of just the building in general.
Building.
But Carla was like, our building is just really not symmetrical. And I'm like, it's not. No. It's not a symmetrical building.
For some of us, it's a problem. It's fine. I still love it. Then the medallions in
Okay, so back inside, up in the bar room, you have where the chandeliers, the 3 chandeliers hang through. Those medallions are exact duplicates.
Okay. Oh, they're duplicates.
Big,
they're not the same.
3.5 foot, 4 foot wide type of things. And we had some original pieces, so we're able to completely fabricate that. Thank you for remembering that. Then also upstairs, up in the ceiling, where the ceiling and walls meet, that crown molding is all not original, but based upon the original.
The door moldings too, are they? And like
someone said they looked at some old photographs of the building, and they felt like a lot of the woodwork was duplicative.
Yeah, there was a lot of that we tried to bring back, even the little
like the rosettes,
the little token thingies that you have kind of. There's a lot of that, and so that brings me up to, and thanks for bringing it up. The hope was on this floor, the second floor, and the third floor, that we could bring back the feeling of the turn of the century. We didn't want to try to force that into a children's department, which just wouldn't work. Kids could care less.
No.
And at the time, the fourth floor was just an attic space.
Yeah.
And so we spent a lot of time looking at colors and design. The tile work, we spent weeks working on that tile work. And not trying to duplicate, but trying to replicate the feeling that we had. And so you had that. We also had, as you're walking from this floor over the bridge, That brickwork that's in the big half circle, that's all original brickwork.
Oh, awesome.
That was just cleaned and sealed. So that's all original.
And as far as floor plan, my understanding is that the ballroom is the same dimensions, like the ballroom is in the exact same place as it was, but nothing else, like all of the other rooms, everything else is kind of just based on what the library needed and what we wanted to have. And
matter of fact, one of the discussions that we had early on, very early on, and I won it, it was a battle, is we have this big ballroom, as you well know, and we can feed 400 people up there. At the time, the associated kitchen was 1/4 the size of what we have up there. Far from adequate.
Yeah.
What would it have been instead?
Just more storage or more rooms. And I remember expressing to Rob, and the storage room was much, much smaller. Well, I grew up in a church that didn't have storage rooms, that when you took down the tables and chairs after an event, they just shoved up against the wall, and I hated it. It's just so tacky looking. And if we're going to be renting out this facility, let's throw tacky out of our conversation. And so then when we got up that floor, and Rob was going, MJSA architect, saying, that's great space for a storage room. I said, it is. It's the only place to put it. We don't want it across the hall. We don't want it down the hall. It needs to be right there. And it can't be on the other side. I was arguing for an elevator over there. So all the things that if I could go back in time and win a battle that I lost, I didn't lose many of them, but that was one I lost, was that other elevator right there. I can understand the concern for elevators.
Sure, they're expensive to replace, as we're finding out right now. But when you're moving all of that, the catering stuff, when you're moving decorations, when you're moving all of that stuff up into the ballroom, a freight elevator would have been helpful. But
it is what it is. I didn't lose that one. I didn't win that one. And so we were able to win a lot of the actual design battles. So the kitchen got bigger, the storage room got bigger. We lost a meeting room up there. Well, we still have a lot of meeting rooms available. I don't think there's anything that we... So
especially
all
compared
the things
to
that
other
we
libraries.
didn't do right, that's the only one that I would go back and go, in a heartbeat I would change that. But then it wasn't my decision to make either.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we've... you guys may have seen something with some new eyes that maybe I didn't see, of things that we would like to change. Small things here and there, things that, it didn't work out as a bookstore, we'll use it for something else. Those are small things. But I think the general layout has worked famously. I love the layout of our back room, our tech services area in the back room relative to the front of house. I love where our desks are. And we've had to modify the desk. But I love the fact that nobody can walk in this library and not have a clue where to go to get some help. That was essential in my head. And even the children's department, that was one of the key features. And I know some libraries in our area that they've kind of tucked children's desk around the corner, and you go, don't you want to make sure that people know where to get some help? And they're not just walk around for years looking for it. I love the adjacency. One of the things I had to change that I'm so grateful. At one point, the design, I came in at a perfect time. I was told that, but I've been lied to before.
Sure.
But it was a perfect time because we could make whatever changes we needed to.
Right.
And so I don't know why this was in the design. I'm not going to talk to them. It's just would have been a mistake. The children's department at one time didn't have the entrance into the children's as it has now. That children's department, the door into it was going to go right into the parking garage. Well, I looked at that, and being a children's person, or just being a halfway intelligent person, go, why would you want to do that?
We're going to have a bunch of kids getting hit by cars.
The safety, the security issues of that. I mean, kids racing. We've seen them racing out of here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a child try to get on the bus at the bus stop here once, and we didn't have the problem.
That's right. So that was a real battle because many people were convinced that was the way to do it. And I said, no, that's the wrong way to do it. Here are all the reasons why. And I just kind of laid out, oh, yeah. We want kids to feel like this whole building belongs to them. And we want the adults to feel the same way. But having this isolated and going out into a parking garage, no.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing that needed to happen. Elevator, oh man, I wish I could go back and do that one too.
Yeah, we just did a book sale yesterday and today, and boy,
afraid
elevator.
I know.
But we get a real good workout.
Yeah.
You know, we cart those an hour and a half.
And you know, even the fourth floor, in hindsight, you go, okay, well, that didn't happen for a number of years after we were open. But you know, it was something that a couple of us really wanted to do and thought we could save the money for it. And I think we've all seen how even some of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Anticipated or unintended?
The
unanticipated?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The unanticipated things that we can do with that space that has given us the opportunity to do more stuff.
Yeah.
Bring in more authors. And if somebody's got the ballroom because of a wedding, you could still do an author visit with 150 people upstairs. And it has everything that we need. It even has a little kitchen and a bathroom.
Yep.
And so I just think that we did a lot of good things. We've added storage areas when we need to. That storage area that's now the media lab. Okay, it was a storage area. We used it for storage for a while, and then things changed.
I was going to say, I have a history, it turns out, of taking storage spaces in the library and turning them into more useful space. Not me personally.
Well, but you've been involved with them.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think it's just made a difference. And so when I walk around, which I do periodically, and trying to, put my ball cap, my sunglasses on.
Avoid the paparazzi.
I just kind of, exactly. Okay, what if I've often thought, what would I do if I could come in right now and change anything of what we did 27, 28 years ago? Not a whole bunch. Not a whole bunch. And I can't say that about the other two libraries I did in Vegas.
Right.
There were a couple of things where I go, oh, what a glaring mistake. And then somebody took advantage of it and just ruined the library.
Yeah.
In a couple of different ways. But
no, we're.
So we had, it was a phenomenal project. It was, how's our time doing? Getting close to it?
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We had a lot of wonderful people worked on this project. Not one person, not one committee. And I'm so grateful for the Doug Smoots and the Lee Bartletts. Mayor Billings was significantly involved with this. He was a mayor for the construction and completion of it. We had a wonderful, Carla will remember it, I think she will remember it, wonderful dedication out in the front lawn.
I do remember.
And Elder Holland came and did the dedication. President Hinckley was supposed to have done it.
Oh.
And that was Doug Smoot getting President Hinckley, but then just a week before, there was a funeral down someplace in southern Utah that President Hinckley needed to be to a family member. So I remember walking downstairs at 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was.
Was he Elder Holland then, or was he the president
He was Elder Holland.
Okay, he wasn't BYU president.
But yes, he was both.
I mean.
And so he comes up, and I'd never met him before. And Doug was with him. He kind of, I could tell Doug told him who I was. He comes up, puts his arm around me, and said, I hope you don't mind if I come and do this dedication instead of President Hinckley. So, no, I think that will be just fine. We'll survive somehow or another. And he did a magnificent job. And Doug spoke, and I spoke briefly. Cindy, not Richards. Cindy, oh gosh.
So sorry.
I know this as well as I'm sitting here. Her husband ran for mayor. Cindy, she was on our library board. She was the chair of our library board. She's going to watch this. She's going to go, you can't remember my name. Remember your name was Cindy? Anyway, it'll come back to me in a flash.
Cindy. Well, you know Cindy. Cindy did it.
Everybody knows Cindy. And then I remember coming into the building, and the place was an absolute freaking zoo. It was on a Saturday. And I remember racing back and forth between that front desk and the back desk, checking out because the line was going clear back past the reference. Everybody had turned their books in, and they wanted new books. And we were exhausted, so we had Sunday to relax, and it comes around, Monday comes around, and then Tuesday comes around. You remember that Tuesday?
I do remember that Tuesday.
Bad Tuesday.
9/11. And I remember all of us sitting around here going, where is everybody? And then words started trickling down. We got the TV. My wife was taking my mom back to the airport. She had flown up for the dedication from Arizona. And she pulls up the airport. There's not a soul there. She's looking around going, what in the world? Somebody comes up and goes, airport's closed. Lori goes, closed?
What?
You closed an airport? Said, you haven't had your eyes on the news, have you? And so they told him what was going on. So it was a really strange first week. And then that first couple of days after 9/11, it was just slow. A couple of people trickle in, kind of look around, see if we're open. And it was devastating. People were scared.
Yeah.
And I was too. And wondering, okay, what's this going to mean for the next while? But then things move on. Things change. We figure things out. So in a nutshell, there's so much more I could go on and on about.
This could be like a 4-hour podcast.
And I don't want to do that to you.
Well, we won't do that to you either.
So what have I forgotten? Anything else that you were interested in?
I feel like those were the big questions that we've had, and that we had someone request this episode of this podcast. So yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I think one of the things just worth mentioning is that the design decisions that were made when this library was restored are part of what allows us to do some of the amazing things that we're really known for.
Good point.
You know, we could not have a fairy tea party. Gene was our fairy king for many years. This year included, right?
I think like 22, 23 years. I can't remember exactly. I missed a 2 year. I missed 3 years. I missed 2 years while we were on a mission. And then I missed a year when I had to move my mom.
Yeah.
And that's the only ones I've missed. So it's been 20. We started the year after we opened.
Yeah. And an event on that scale, most places, they couldn't even touch it.
When I tell people that we hosted Marcus Suzak, and we had about 700 people there, I know of no other library anywhere that could pull that off to the extent that we do.
Yeah.
And which is a combination of us having the facility for it and a community that is so supportive and engaged.
Exactly.
Which is great.
And they have loved everything that we've done there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right.
Great.
And I think that was one of the key things, one of the key aspects of the vote is that they were very clear on what was going to be included in the building, including that ballroom, which was going to be able to be rented for private use. They knew that up front, but we were going to make the price reasonable, somewhere competitive.
Yeah.
And we were going to be doing a lot of events. What? I don't know yet. But you're going to see some fun stuff.
And we sure do.
And boy, did we do some, and you guys still are.
Yeah.
And and even going down to children's, I think one of...
Pat you on the back.
Little pat. 2 areas for children's story times.
Just brilliant.
Yeah.
Was genius.
Works so well.
Story time simultaneously.
There's times I almost wish that we had done 3 of them. But 2, and most libraries, they don't dream of doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have the space.
Right.
We had, at one time, we had Parent Education Resource Center, which was
we had a
a joint effort between us and the school district. with some early childhood toys and stuff like that. It was housed in the old children's department at the Center Street location. And so that was the plan. The plan included probably of that children's, probably 2,000 square feet would have been over where the Easy Books are now.
Oh, okay.
That's where Perk was going to be. And I remember talking with Patty Harrington, at the time was the soup at the schools. I said, Patty, tell me about your interest in Parent Educator Resource Center. She says, we don't have a lot of interest in it. I mean, she's a very, very direct person. I liked her. I said, tell me about it, because we're having to make decisions right now.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be putting more money into it, which is what was needed for that collection, or we are, and we don't have the money.
Yeah.
And she went back and said, let me get back to you. Called me the next day. Said, we're not going to do anything with it. Said, well,
Great.
Consider this the end of that partnership. Said, sounds good to me. Never a hard feeling between them.
Yeah.
Hard feelings between some of the Perk people.
Sure.
But
that space is also very heavily used. I mean, I don't know if our children's library was any smaller than what it is.
oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
And of
It's
course,
a good
we
space.
were, particularly in children's, we were hemmed in
By the footprint.
by the footprint. That's we're not going to be able to break that mold and go outside of that. I would love to have had another couple of thousand square feet there, but we would like to have that in a lot of places.
Sure.
So,
My office is fine.
but you know, one of the things I wanted to mention too about the new addition, the 2 floors there. It looks like it's an easy addition. Yeah, let's put a big rectangle building right there and put a bathroom and some water fountains. We'll call it good. We spent a lot of time on the association of various areas together and how it's going to work and function, so staff isn't having to walk 100 yards when they could have walked 10 yards to do something.
Right.
And you know, as funky as those 2 floors can be at times, I think they do exactly, in my head, exactly what we intended to do.
Yeah.
And we were able to throw away almost a complete reference department. But we knew that was probably going to be happening because we could see the changes in technology, and it's going to be hitting reference first, and it did. And we were able to take after first.
Yeah, just that we got rid of the collection, not
Yeah.
the department. We didn't fire anyone.
The collection.
You get the people,
itself.
but those reference books, like those encyclopedias, just nobody was using them,
Yeah.
and there
All
was
those
so much
directories
space. And actually, I was talking to our current manager over there, and she says, you know, sometimes I walk up there and I look at that space where the books were, and we have all of these study tables, and she'll walk around that second floor and there'll be 40 students out just studying different places. And it just was, and even like the number of computers, like now we just have the Wi-Fi so that people can have their own workstations all over the place. And it was built in a way that makes it really modular in the way we could change it.
And you know, I think one of the other things that happened that I didn't know what was going to happen, to be very honest. There were some members of the library board at the time when we opened who were very concerned about the proximity of the library, the public library, to the campus.
Oh.
And would we be inundated by students? It hasn't happened. We have a lot of students that come over, but they haven't overwhelmed us to the point that we couldn't help others at the same thing.
Yeah.
And frankly, we're now seeing some of these students that used to be students are now living here and bringing their kids back to our children's story time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they had such a good experience coming to the library. They weren't treated like they were trash.
Yeah.
They weren't treated like they didn't belong.
Yeah.
They were treated like anybody else. You're taxpayers, you're welcome here.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how I feel. I feel like they live here too.
Exactly.
Like this is the Provo
They're
City
paying
Library.
those taxes. They may be different than my taxes,
Right.
but it's cash.
But yeah, if you live in Provo, this is your library.
No, I'm sad about some things. I'm sad about some of the foliage outside, the exterior that we are able to keep it up and growing, and now keep the disease and notice the pine trees on the east side that disappeared.
Yep, they did just kick the bucket this year.
Yeah, and I'm sad about that. I can see they're losing some on the perimeter again. Okay, what do? You do the best you can.
You do the best you
We
can.
learn and we grow. We learn, we grow.
Remember that tree we tried to put right over here in the corner? I don't think you were with us
I
then.
don't think.
No, there was a big tree out by the bank at 500 West, 200 North.
They tried to
There was
transport
a little bank,
it.
and there was a tree that had been there forever, apparently. And somebody had the crazy idea, we want to keep this alive. Where should we put it? Let's move it to the library. So
Back behind,
back
wasn't
around,
it?
around the corner. And where there is a small tree out there now. And they had this big tree with all this root system, and they're dragging it from the street across all the property, across the underground parking garage. I'm going, no, what's going to happen? Scared me to death. It's just going to crumble. It's going to be too much weight. It wasn't, but the tree didn't survive.
Yeah.
So we went to a lot of trouble, a lot of costs.
Roots,
Trees, I don't know.
rooted
Yeah.
means that you stay put.
Yeah, you leave
and that
alone.
metaphor exists for a
So
reason.
they were going to lose a tree anyway at the bank,
Yeah.
so they lost it here.
They lost it here.
But a couple of minor things. Obviously, you always worry about the costs of having to do stuff. Because the next time when you have to reseal those bricks, I believe, if I remember right, we spent like $23,000 on that before.
Oh.
And it's probably going to be double that.
Oh, triple?
Triple.
Triple it now.
'Cause scaffolding.
Sorry to say that.
Scaffolding.
Oh, and do you say 25,000?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's not even triple.
Oh, no. It's $750,000 is what they're quoting me. So we'll see. We're working on it. I mean, the scaffolding alone is half of the problem.
$750,000.
To do all around. But we've broken it down into different phases. We'll go to each side of the building because it's not just the brick.
I cannot hardly believe that, Carla.
Yeah.
It's probably a conversation for a different time.
We shall have, yeah. So because some
Mortar.
of the wood needs to be done, some of the mortar needs to be replaced. But we're actually, it's doing really well right now because we replaced all the gutters. We fixed all the gutters, so it's not getting that water.
That water pouring down.
Anyways, another podcast for another time.
Let's talk about building maintenance, historic building maintenance.
Anyways, it's a beautiful building.
beautiful
and
building.
we
And a miracle.
love working.
And it is a miracle, isn't it?
It is a miracle.
Without question.
Yeah.
There's so many miraculous things that happen in this project. You go, okay.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah. So
Which is
And
good.
and I will end it from my perspective with this. It's wonderful to go out in the community and have people excited about their library
Yeah.
and grateful for their library and grateful for the work that all of us have done to provide great library services. And it's not just every time. I'm not afraid to go out to the public. I don't have to put on a disguise or anything because you kind of wonder the way this was so divisive. If this didn't turn out,
yeah. Right.
Nope. People love it.
I believe, and it has been said by members of our city administration, had we not pulled this off, we wouldn't have pulled off the rec center.
Right.
Yeah.
This was the key factor in getting the votage. Is that a word?
Sure.
Votage. Getting the votage for the rec center. And there was a trust that was built up with the city and with the people that lived in the community.
Yeah.
We told them we were going to do it. We did it.
We did it right.
Matter of fact, we improved upon what we told them we were going to do.
Yeah.
We paid the thing off 3 years before it was due, and it was paid for, done,
Nice.
and been able to save some money aside for all the things that we've had to spend it on the last 7 years. And
Yeah.
Yep.
and we knew it wasn't going to be cheap, but I'm not sure all of us knew how much it was going to cost to take care of some of these historical things either.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that we were going to have to replace elevators.
Sure.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't think anybody saw our inflationary factors just going
No.
what they're doing.
No, and it's 25 years old. When you
Oh, yeah.
when you build a house, 25 years
Absolutely.
later, you're replacing your AC and your heater. Like it's just the same kinds of things. So it's building replacement for the most part. The exterior brickwork is one of the historical aspects of it that is
Yeah.
more expensive than what a regular building would be. But we do have, the foundation's endowment that we hope to help with some of that, and it'll be fine.
I hope and pray it doesn't take you $750,000 to do that. It shouldn't.
Cool.
You could probably get a bunch of old directors and stuff and just give us some sealant.
Yeah.
Put them in a scaffolding.
They said some people when their homes are having the same kind of mortar issues that they see with ours, they just go in and they're like, but you can't pick out all the mortar
we've got,
for this building.
How many square feet of that stuff.
So they're like, no, you can't do that. You'll just, anyways, sealing and just checking the bricks and making sure each one is still, and there's areas that just see more weather. It's like you said, like in that back corner, it just sees more weather. And so some parts of it are just great, and some parts, we know they're going to need work first.
You don't have any leakage over with the membrane on the second building lately?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, we're good.
We took care of that some years ago.
Yeah. We got
Until
roofing
next
taken
time.
care of. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a cycle, but I have a list of things that I don't have that will come due again after I retire. So I have the list of things. I'm going to do it now, and I'm never going to have to worry about that again.
Are you making a statement about this
No.
retirement? Or?
I'm just saying.
Okay. What are you saying?
Someday I will leave.
Buildings hopefully last forever.
Yes.
Directors, they don't.
Somebody else will.
And
take
on
my place.
that, not at all morbid note.
No. Hey,
do you
what
want
you
to
been
talk
reading?
about things we've been reading?
Yeah.
Gene, what have you been reading?
Huh?
Oh, you don't have to go first. Carla can go first.
Go
What we're reading.
Oh, reading. Oh, yeah. Talk about Carla.
Okay. I just finished a book that I absolutely love called Big Fan. It is nonfiction written by Michael Schur and Joe Posnanski, who he wrote a lot of things. He wrote like The Good Place. He did.
Oh, Michael Schur?
Michael Schur, yeah.
Yeah, he's the creator of The Office.
Yeah.
And The Good
Anyway,
Place.
so he's an
Like
excellent
television.
writer, and Joe is a sports writer, but they just wanted a publisher to pay for them to go to all of their dream sporting events. And so they got a book deal and studied fandom, basically, and why
funny.
people want to go to sporting events and how they get so obsessed with them. But then they throw in lots of other fandoms. They have a chapter on Taylor Swift. They've just got all kinds of just fun. It was so fun, and they are hilarious. They're the kind of friends that kind of needle each other a lot, and so that's really fun. Just their relationship as they write back and forth. The one guy hates pickleball, and so he has to write the pickleball chapter, and so he's trying to think through that of the worst thing he could do to the other author and make him go to an Alaska sled race where it's 30 below
What's the name of this
zero.
book?
Big fan.
Big fan.
I've never heard of that
I
one.
was a very big fan. It was really, really good. It was probably my favorite nonfiction I've read in a long time.
Huh.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Probably hear about it at Best Books next year.
probably. It'll be on there.
Excellent.
How did your best books turn out a few weeks ago?
Great.
I mean, did you have a good
Yeah,
crowd?
yeah.
Without cupcakes?
We had cookies.
Not the same.
Cupcakes are too expensive.
That's no.
I've become cheap in my old
You need
age.
to get a sponsor.
I do. I would love to get a sponsor.
We'll talk to Mr. Cookie.
Yeah, Mr. Cookie. What did you read, Erika?
I think I want to talk about If Books Could Kill by Kate Eberle. So this one, the main character has a romance author that she really, really likes. And as she's sort of walking out of work on a bad day, there's a kind of panhandling person. And she makes this wish out loud. I wish I could be the main character in the next Anna Matthews book. And the person says, wish granted, and then sort of walks away. And so she finds herself, so this is a romance author, she finds herself then experiencing like a meet cute. And eventually it becomes clear that she is the heroine in the next Anna Matthews novel. Except what she discovers pretty quickly is that Anna Matthews is departing from writing romance and is now writing a thriller. So instead of finding herself inside a romance novel where she goes on this perfect date, goes weak in the knees, she is literally running away from someone with a knife. And then, and so now she steals a car, Grand Theft Auto style. And of course, she discovers it was an Uber and there's someone in the back. So this book, now these two characters are trapped inside this thriller, and they don't quite know how to get out of it, and so it's the book ends up being a very self-referential thriller comedy romance. It was so much fun the whole way through, and one of the things I love about it is that I read romance, but I acknowledge how ridiculous romance can be. Like, I acknowledge all the things. And this book does too. Like, it points out so many of the dumb things. They're like, of course, there's only one bed. You know, there's all these things. And the characters are ribbing back and forth because one's an English professor that had wanted to be an author but isn't. But he reads crime novels. So she's like, what's going to happen next? And it was so fun the whole way through. So, If Books Could Kill. By Kate Eberle. Was great.
I've got one.
Okay.
I have lots of them.
I believe it. You're retired.
I've been reading a lot, catching up on a lot of my thriller mystery series and stuff, so I won't bore you with those. But I'm also a science fiction fantasy fan that I haven't read as much as I used to. And I wanted to read this book before it hit the movie theaters. So I read Project Hail Mary before it hit the show. And because I had read his Martian, loved the movie, didn't love the book. Good, but I think he gets caught up in his scientific mathematical things just a little more than I wish
in
as
the
a reader.
Martian.
In The Martian.
In Martian, and I discovered the same thing in Project Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
That's not why I read science fiction fantasy. Others do. But was I pleasantly surprised how good the book was? It was really good.
So good.
And even more pleasantly surprised to find out I thought the movie was even better than the book. And I never say that, but I thought the movie was fantastic.
Now, you probably read the book, right?
As opposed to listening to the book? That would be
I think
correct.
you've forgotten about the arguments that this office has
There's no argument. We've been through this before, so I'm going
I will say that Project Hail Mary is an excellent audiobook because
you gave her money?
because of Rocky.
Yeah.
Because you get more of a sense of the language and what he sounds like and everything like that in the,
Which is
in the
kind of
audiobook.
fun.
It was really, I can see why the movie has done so well and why the book is doing so well.
Yeah. Excellent.
And there's a lot of other good stuff coming out too.
Yeah.
Good books all around.
Can't wait.
Okay. Gene, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
It's great
Thank you
to
for
be here.
asking.
Thank you
Anytime.
for all your work that you did getting this library to what it
welcome.
is.
It was a pleasure.
It's been great. Until next time, we'll be here in this beautiful building again. See you next time.
Bye.